Hello, parents, faculty, and Harmony students. My name is Gabriel Lovett, student of the class of 2020. The last quarter of this year has been a peculiar one, but it has also given me ample opportunity to reflect upon both the past and the future. I think many of us have come to realize the importance of the freedom of movement in these last few months. We desire the ability to leave our home and to return to it. We desire the ability to visit friends and family and to spend our time alone in introspection. We desire the ability to settle in one area or search for new opportunities in a new place. As proper adults, the class of 2020 will be faced with many choices in the coming months about what they want to do with their lives. They will make career choices, relationship choices, and social choices that will not only impact themselves, but all of society. Freedom of choice is a tremendous power to have. Throughout life, we choose to move and stay where we want. In fact, the freedom of movement is considered a human right. However, we have had our movement limited over these last few months for the good of everyone around us. There is no good or righteousness in taking away the freedoms of others by endangering them with potentially harmful infection. Thus, many of us have been locked away in our homes contemplating current events. Well, I am glad to inform you that this quarantine does not deserve your attention. What does deserve your attention is the aforementioned freedom of movement. When you complain about the quarantine, you are moving nowhere. You are staying in the present, not making any progress. When you focus on the past and the many regrets you may have, you are moving backwards, not making any progress. However, think about the future. Think about the freedoms you'll regain when the quarantine ends and what you will do with them. Think about where you want to move or stay, about where you will work or study, and about where you will go in life after the quarantine inevitably passes. Think about how you will move forward and why that is. We all have the freedom of movement. While it has been restricted these last few months, we have been given incredulous amounts of time to think about how we will move forward in life. So, to those listening to my speech, parents, faculty, students, and the class of 2020, I advise that you make the most of your freedom, not to move backwards and not to stand still, but to move forward. Many thanks to my parents, family, friends, and to the essential workers who are ensuring that all of us stay safe and may choose where to move forward after the end of this pandemic. Thank you, and keep moving forward.
Class of 2020, my name is Zaid Mohammed, and I am honored to be Harmony Science Academy's 2020 class president and valedictorian. I want to start off by congratulating you, my fellow Harmony seniors, on this tremendous accomplishment. 4 years of studying, 4 years of completing classes, 4 years of stressing over APs, TSI, SAT, and ACT, and our hard work has paid off. We have officially graduated high school, and this would not have been possible without the support of our friends, family, faculty, parents, and teachers. The end of high school is an unusual point in one's life. It is a culmination of 13 years of schooling, but it is also the beginning of a new journey into adulthood. And given the circumstances this year, it is even more unusual. None of us could have known that March 13th would be our final day of high school. What could have gone wrong? After all, it was only Friday the 13th. Nevertheless, all that we have achieved over the past few years cannot be taken away. Yes, the future is foggy right now, but speaking as a child who has moved from India to Dubai to Canada to finally the great city of Beaumont, I found that growth does not happen in a vacuum. It requires discomfort. We require discomfort. We require change. If you embrace it and learn from it, it will be the key by which many doors of opportunity are unlocked. Let's reminisce about our time in high school. Even though it seems like yesterday, it has been almost 4 years since we started our journey. In August of 2016, we were a group of 14-year-old kids ready to embark on a new adventure. High school seemed unfamiliar, but because of your own will to try new things and stay true to yourself, you found your footing. Some of you entered athletics. You put in hours and hours of practice to represent our school in boys basketball, girls basketball, and volleyball. From killer crossovers to unstoppable spikes, you constantly wowed the crowd. And some of you found your voice in writing and the arts. You wrote well-woven stories, gave captivating acting performances, and crafted beautiful paintings and drawings. And then there was academics. Many of you presented projects at our annual STEM Fest and made the honor roll. And some of you would just pick up algebra and concepts in a way that had the rest of us scratching our heads. But besides the growth we experienced academically and in our respective passions, we also matured as we picked up life lessons along the way, many of which were taught by our teachers. Every one of them have made an impact in our lives. I'll never forget Ms. Bill's biomedical sciences class, where in addition to learning the material, we conducted fun lab experiments. Whenever the need to work in groups arose, Ms. Bill would encourage us to team up with someone who we hadn't worked with before. She explained that in the real world, we will often have to work with coworkers and people whom we may not know well. We would come to appreciate this, and because of her encouragement, we would bond and our class would become more united. Thank you, Ms. Bill, for teaching us this valuable lesson of relationship building and working towards a common goal. And thank you also for teaching us the game Watermelon. Shout out to Ms. Lytle, who is the engine behind the activities and events at Harmony. You always taught us to be active both inside and outside the classroom. Your classes would often harbor interesting, thought-provoking, and at times humorous class discussions. And if the class council or individual students ever came to you with ideas for an event or activity, you would encourage us to organize and fundraise. Thank you for teaching us that no matter the outcome, we must at least try to make a change, because change teaches personal growth. During high school, there were hurdles: doing homework, learning to drive, the fitness grand pacer test, and acne. And at the beginning of 10th grade, nature threw a hefty curveball at our community. Hurricane Harvey swept through and ravaged southeast Texas. Teachers and students were affected. Some lost their homes. It was tough, but we were tougher. The community united and helped one another. Many of us, including myself, volunteered. At local churches, mosques, temples, and community centers, the class of 2020 was there to lend a helping hand. We were and always will be Texas strong. Our history of overcoming obstacles has made us resilient. Through the ups and downs, the smiles and tears, we keep our head up and persevere. Change teaches strength. Finally, class of 2020, think back to the beginning of this year. Back when the only illness on our mind and the mind of our parents and teachers was senioritis. To our first event, Senior Sunrise. We all gathered at Rogers Park early in the morning with food and drinks present. Each of us got a balloon and we attached individual notes. We wrote down our hopes and dreams for the future, and then we released our balloons and watched them soar into the sky, and we watched the sunrise, symbolizing a new era in our lives. We were growing up, and knew adulthood would be challenging. We didn't expect the challenges so soon. The class missed out on many end-of-their-year events and memories. We won't get to walk across that stage, to look out into the audience and see the proud faces of people we love. But even if we may not get to see their faces, we know that they are still proud of us. They are even more proud given the circumstances. The past 2 months of studying from home and socially distancing yourself to save lives have shown your flexibility and responsibility. The current obstacle will one day pass, and what has happened is a tragedy. And it is clear that life is not always fair. Change teaches us to focus on what we can control, and to handle difficult situations with maturity. This is a lesson which we have had to learn earlier than most, and it is why I am confident we will achieve the hopes and dreams written during Senior Sunrise, no matter what life may throw at us. And like many of you, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my parents for their love, support, sacrifices, and encouragement. Mom, Dad, I truly wouldn't be who I am today without you. Despite how the year ended, we made it. And true to Harmony Form, we made it together. And not in spite of, but because of the hurdles we've overcome, we have proven that we are one resilient class, I am proud to be graduating amongst this extraordinary class. Class of 2020, we made it. May your future be filled with happiness and success. Thank you.
Genesis Ayala, Corey Banks, Lark Boone, Hayley Braquet, Vanessa Bravo, Leonardo de Leon Flores, Rosemary Dias, Ashley Dixson, Luther Epps, Breandy Guzman, Charm Haley, Afrosa Islam, Jordin Jacques, Aslisha Jones, Alicia Juarez, Ashanti Keys, Gabriel Lovett, Jasmine Malveaux, Riley Mann, Miguel Menjivar, Victor Midgett, Zaid Mohammed, Christina Moore, Caden Morris, Alexander Ordway, Emily Pitcox, Matthew Robbins, James Spencer, Grace Steelman, Teno Bohannon, Troy Toombs, Jayden Utterback, Gabriela Valiente, Zaria Williams, Derrick Wiltz,